everyone, it's Jackie and we're going to do another journal flip through. This is the journal I was using in June of this month, and I actually only half filled it, so even though I have this beautiful June cover, I've got to extend into July, so I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I can't remember if I've shown you guys this book before, but for anyone that's wondering, this is a basic sketchbook. It is above ground Art Supplies branded premium sketchbook. According to the label, it is acid free, 24 sheets, 120 GSM, and wow, it's not focusing at all. Sorry guys. Suitable for dry media and light washes, and it's approximately 5.5 by 8 inches in size. So for the cover, what I did is I painted it with gesso. So it's originally a black cover, and I just painted it with some gesso so that the other colors would pop on top of it, and then I just put some blue, like tealish blue acrylic paint, just like craft paint, on top of that, and I just used a dry brush to give it these kind of brush strokey things. I stamped some teal ink with a text stamp, like a script stamp. I used my mini alphabet punch board to make these letters, stamped in 2017, and I used a Jane Davenport stencil along with my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers to just quickly do up this flower that I then fussy cut out and stuck on. And I love the way it turned out. I feel like it kind of reminds me of an Archie comic, the way it's got the bold black lines and the bright colors. It has a really nice animated quality to it that I just love. So let's take a look inside. I always start with the selfies. So here is my husband and I on a June afternoon sitting in the park. And I just put down a jelly print and then our photo. I cut this out of a journaling card, and that was just an embellishment that matched it. It's from a Simple Stories set, an older one. And then I just went straight into talking about my Wednesdays, because Wednesday's my busiest day of the week. I thought I'd just outline what that looks like for me. And the way I did that is I just cut this image out of, I reviewed a book on my channel a couple of weeks ago or a month ago called Sticker Art Therapy, and it's got all these wonderful botanical prints in it. So this was one of the pages in the book, and I just fussy cut out the leaves and used it as a border because it reminded me, we'd gone running that day, and it reminded me of how the trees were hanging over our heads. So I thought it was really suitable for this page. And then I just put some stickers on that, and I just used alphas to write out Wednesday. That's my title. When I did my writing, I just switched to a like a brush pen every time I was writing something that was kind of a highlight of the day. And that way I can just kind of look at it at a glance, and it's not just like a wall of text, and I find it's easy to read in that format. The next one's called Running with Erin, and it's just talking about how she took up running, and I go out with her and how that feels and what that's like. And this is just a really simple page. We saw some poppies that day, so I took another sticker from that same sticker book, this time a poppy, and I just stuck it on the page. I used an eco line brush marker to write out my title, and I just thickened all the downstrokes. And then I just used the same markers to just do an outline of the page, a little label with my sticker, or with my date on it, and I just did some writing. Easy peasy. So like, you don't need a lot to do a nice page. Like if you're new to creative journaling, it's really, you can just use anything you have as long as there's a pop of color on it, and if you have a sticker, that's even better. But you can just make really nice pages if you just block sections off, write a big title, and it's really easy to do. I've got process videos on my channel if you want to see how I make my pages. I have a Facebook group called Creative Journalers. I'll link to it below if you want to see other people's journal pages and how they're doing it. Like if you're just new to it, just hop right in. It's fun and it's easy. The next page is called, well, I didn't really put a title on it. We went to the Art of Craft Beer Festival in Leslieville, so I just drew the logo, and that's pretty much as much of a title as I did on it. So I just drew a triangle and did some writing in it, and then I did a watercolor wash in blue across the whole rest of the page, and then I just took a piece of pattern paper from the Chamel Little by Little paper pad, and I just put a corner of it here. I backed one of my photos with it, and so there's a picture of where the craft beer festival was held, and it's called Ashbridge Estates, so I just wrote that on a piece of pattern paper, and I just used some little stickers, and then wherever there was some space left, I did my journaling. For the next one, I called it Playground and Pizza, and it's just talking about how we couldn't get a table at the pizza place, so we killed an hour at the playground. I hadn't gone on swings in about 2 decades, so for me that was news. We got this coaster, and so I used that as a starting point. I peeled the top layer off the coaster, and I just glued it down, and then I used acrylic paints in the same kind of fuchsia color, and I just did backgrounds for my title and a line down here, and then I used alphas I had that were not, they were yellow, and I just used a green marker to color them the same shade of green, and they're Snap alphas, or Simple Stories alphas, and I just put those down and painted a little more green here and here. And then for this kind of Prussian blue, I had an Ecoline brush marker that was about the same, so I just outlined my photos with that, and I just sketched an outline around the whole page. I had one Amy Tangerine sticker left that was a pizza slice, so that was perfect, and I just journaled everywhere else. I'm a journaler first and I'm creative second. So there's always lots of words. And then we went to see Wonder Woman. If you haven't seen it yet, it is fantastic. If you didn't like Superman, don't worry, you will still love this movie. It was so good. So when I go to the movies, these pages are really straightforward. I cut out a picture from the movie magazine. I put my movie ticket down. I cut the title out of the magazine, and my page is pretty much done. So all I did was just put a piece of washi tape there, some washi tape on either side of this picture. I did a little bit of star stenciling here and here, and there was like some writing on the picture, so I just covered it up with a journal spot, and that was black, and I wrote on it with white gel pen, and that page came together really fast. The next page is done with my hexagon punch. I had some scraps of paper, and I just cut hexagons out of it, and I made this mosaic. And then I put my photo down, and then I saw that I had lots of room for journaling, like by the time I put my 2 photos down. So I just drew out a block and colored it with a watercolor wash. So if you don't have any journaling cards, that's an easy way to make a journal spot. I just painted it with watercolors, and then once it was dry, I did my writing on it, and these are just a couple pieces of washi tape. So it's a really simple page, but I think it all comes together, and I think it's nice. This was where we went right after the movie. The next one is called Kits. My sister and I were supposed to put on a creative journaling class here in our neighborhood, but it got canceled, which was too bad. But before that happened, we did spend an afternoon making the kits for them. So I just did a page about what we put together. I just painted the whole thing yellow, and then there's a picture. These were the kits we made. They have all kinds of fun things, and they're just sitting in a bag on my floor right now. And then pictures of the finished kits. And just used some alphas here, some ephemera from the Little by Little collection, and I used some new dilution stamps, date stamps that I got at Michael's. Been using those a lot lately, so that's the first place I used them. The next one's called Summer Dresses, and I'm just talking about how my dresses, if you've been following my weight loss journey in my planner videos, I was just talking about how my dresses fit in a different way than they used to, and so I just took a selfie of myself wearing one of my dresses. I put some washi tape down the side here, and I just used some embellishments from my stash, a sticker and a die cut, some Simple Stories stickers here from the I Am collection that I've been sitting on for like 2 years now. I gotta use those up. And I just used a Zig Clean Color Real brush marker because it was the right pink. It's the only marker I had. I don't like to letter with these markers, but it was the only one I had that was the right color, and just did my title with that. So pretty simple. The next ones are called Day Trip to Niagara, and my husband did a drive from, like a bike ride from Toronto to Niagara. He does it once a year, and my sister and I went to meet him at the finish line. So I just wanted to capture the sunny dayness of that that day. So I just used an Echo Park cloud stencil and some Tumble Glass Distress ink, and I stenciled in some clouds. I had a sun sticker I stuck down. I stamped out my title with some Recollection stamps. I wish my handwriting was that nice. Just watercolored an underline underneath it, and I used watercolor and just some upward swipes to do some grass at the bottom, and just used some random stickers I had in my stash. I took a picture of what the finish line looks like. This is a picture of us in front of the water at Niagara, and this was his belt, and I just put some washi tape covering up his identifying information, but I filled in 3 because it's his 3rd year doing it. And a lot more white space on this page than I'm used to doing, and it still kind of catches me off guard when I flip to this page because I usually, pack my pages so full. The next one is called 9,000 Calories, and this started off with like some artwork I did underneath, and I hated it. And so if you hate something, just cover it up. And so it became a scrappy page. I put pattern paper over the art that I did. I think it was like stenciling, or I don't even remember now what it was. And I matted my photo, and then just used some journaling cards. And this is all Chamel Little by Little scrappy stuff. It's talking about how my husband burnt 9,000 calories on his 2-day bike ride, and how we helped him regain them. We went out and he got a giant bowl of pasta. So I just filled that in on my journaling card, and a little bit of writing here. And I had some Doodlebug donuts because we got some donuts, and I thought that was good. I used my tab punch up here. And yeah, I think this page turned out nice despite the false start. The next one is called ICAD 2017. I've been trying to do the index card a day challenge. I have another video on my channel about that if you're interested. And since it's kind of a mixed media that I'm doing there, I did a mixed media background. So I just stuck down some Tim Holtz tissue paper, and then I colored it with acrylic paint and did some, you know, some gesso stenciling, and I inked the edges black with some Ranger ink. And then once I had that, I just put down a couple pictures of some of the cards that I've done. And it was too dark to write on, so I just typed up my journaling and stuck down the strips. I like doing this on really busy backgrounds, and just used some alphas to do my title. It looks fancier than it is. These pages I actually have process videos on my channel, but they're mainly done. So yeah, if you want to know how I did these, you can actually watch me make them. Just check out my other videos. And it's mostly watercolor. This is a jelly print, some embellishments. This is stenciling, glitter tape, flower stickers. But if you want to see me put it together, I'll link to it below. This is stamping. This is handwriting. I also have process videos for these pages on my channel, so I'll link to that one too. But this one's basically just a lot of washi tape, a whole lot of photos, and watercolor washes in different areas. And I just cut these, I just drew these on a sheet of pattern paper and cut them out, and I just painted it with some black ink and stuck those down. I did something called the Big Sing. It's the third one I've done if you've been following my videos, and their photos are not available for it yet. So there's just a blank page and a post-it note. And someday when I have some photos, I'll do that page. We celebrated the summer solstice with a barbecue and potluck with my choir, so I did a page for that. So I just took a picture of us all singing around the fire, and I just used washi tape to do a border. I used some alphabet stencils and acrylic paint to do my title, and I like how messy it looks. I think it's cool, but I outlined it with black because it was just a little too messy, and it pops a little better now. And I just die cut some music notes to represent all the singing that we did, and I just used some glitter paint on those, so they have a little sparkle, but not a whole lot. Then we did the first barbecue of the season. So for this one, I wanted to do a watercolor wash, and so I did that first using my Jane Davenport's Bright set, and then I didn't know what to do with my lettering. So then I just pulled out my handy Letter Love journal. I showed this in another video, and I just kind of flipped through it until I found a journal style, a lettering style I liked, and that's what I went with on this one. So I just used a marker to write out my title and then traced around the letters with another marker. I used Tombow brush markers for that. I used a stencil and some black acrylic paint to do these diamonds. I just drew a border around it, the same dilution stamps, and yeah, and it turned out so pretty. I really love pages like this where I don't have to use any scrapbook supplies. They just kind of come together nicely. And this one's the same way. We had hail, if you can imagine, here in Canada in June. I promise you mostly we have hot weather, but it was just like some freak hail, so I wrote about that, and I just Googled how do you draw hail. And it's just these, I just used a thin, like a micron 01 to do these little circles, and then I just used a marker to draw a line showing them, and then I just used a Zig Clean Color Real Brush marker to just color gray in around them. Used alphas for my title, and then I just used a blue pen to do my writing. Normally I use black. It's simple, but it works, I think. And that was the end of June, and since I need to carry this over to another month, I thought rather than mess around with the title I already have, why don't I just make a new title page in the middle of the book? And that's what I did. So I did it in the exact same style. My husband kind of laughed at me because he watched me as I painted the whole page black, and then I painted it black just so that I could paint it white, and then I painted it white just so that I could paint it blue, so that I could get the same background as I had on this page. I did the same stamping with the script stamp. I used my my mini alphabet punch board again to do my letters, and then this is a page out of a vellum coloring book that's made by Dover. They make these tiny little coloring books, and I have one that's all pictures of birds. I colored it with my my Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers and stuck it, like fussy cut it out and stuck it down, and that's all there is to it. And so this will be July. Excellent. So I'm about halfway through the sketchbook. Yeah, so that's my latest journal flip through. I'll have another one for you in a month. Thank you so much for watching.